公器私用。
而家擔心你嘅情緒影響咗。我問你係定係
？I'm sorry, that's my seat. Hi, I'm Welcome to the Silver Spleen. This is my review of Cold War. Cold War was one of the most thoroughly promoted films in recent memory. The advance hype on this film was stifling. It was everywhere. MTR stations, the buses, TV. You couldn't get away from it. By the time the movie opened, I was glad because not only would I get to see it, it meant that I didn't have to watch any more of the promo stuff. In the film, a Hong Kong police emergency unit van and the 5 officers in it have disappeared. At the highest echelons, a power struggle over the police response, and of course a whole lot more, ensues. Who kidnapped the police, and why? You want to find out? Watch the goddamn movie. The characters are as varied as you might expect in this sort of ensemble film. The cast is as varied as their acting abilities. For me, some of the best acting in local film is to be found on the second tier. Often the supporting actors will turn in the best performances in a movie. That's certainly true here. Gordon Lam and Kar-lok are their usual dependable, reliable selves. They're never going to be leading men, and neither is Lam Sud, but they always add a layer of quality to whatever film they're in and make it that much more fun to watch. Some of the cameos were really good though. Unfortunately, some of the cameos by other people weren't as good. Michael Wong's appearance, while it made me happy, seemed to amuse everyone else in the cinema that I was sitting in. I meant to do that. Andy Lau's cameo proves that he has what I like to call Robert De Niro disease. What that means is that Andy Lau doesn't really play a character. He plays Andy Lau, playing Andy Lau. But he does it really well. Arranged in descending order of acting quality. The younger stars in the film, namely Arif Lee as an ICAC officer and Eddie Peng as a young cop, are way out of their league. This is not the face of intimidation, or of someone who shaves every day. Maybe I'm just too old, but having to watch Arif Lee try to play some kind of hard-nosed ICAC badass was just funny. And Eddie Peng was more like an errant, annoying child than anything resembling an adult, much less a cop. But there is a very good reason to watch this film nonetheless. Tony Leung is great in this movie. His role is the centerpiece of the film. Big Tony, bitches! He plays a senior police officer with decades of field experience, whose son is one of the kidnapped officers. Leung's acting is forceful without being overbearing, which we cannot say of his opposite. And he is at times funny, cynical, paternal, and bluntly honest. And he's believable in each of them. His acting is reason enough to watch this film. If you watch Cold War, it should really be because you're interested in the acting and in how it looks and in who's in it. You definitely don't want to watch it for the story. The script is grossly convoluted, confusing, and obviously not well thought out. It suffers the, unfortunately, common problem of really not having been thoroughly conceptualized all the way to the end. It lays out a very interesting premise that holds up for the first 2 acts of the film, but the last third of the movie ends up being this mad scramble to resolve everything, by any means necessary, no matter how illogical or transparently manufactured or convenient any of these things happen to be. So if you watch Cold War, and you should, do it for the acting. It's unfortunate for me to have to say that, because the premise of the film and the story that it lays out is actually very interesting, and I was looking forward to seeing how it turned out. It would have been more interesting if the filmmakers hadn't fumbled the resolution of the story like a one-armed wide receiver. It would also be interesting if this photo was the beginning of a rap video. I want to say a special thank you to Jane Wong, who was kind enough to grace this review with that cameo, because she's in Cold War, see? I want you to see Cold War on a disc that you legally bought. Don't download this movie. There are links down in the description where you can buy this thing. That's what you're supposed to do. It's what I need you to do. If you enjoyed my review, please leave me a comment. If you didn't, if you really enjoy these reviews, please subscribe to my channel.